Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gillcast. You're either listening to this on the Sports Grid Fantasy Football Podcast feed or the RotoGrinders Daily Fantasy Football feed. I'm Davis Maddock, joined by Sammy Reed and Nate Nolan. And honest to God, guys, so first off, guys, I mean, we don't try and do this on Monday morning. We like to do it the normal Sunday night way. Look, we're all grown-ups now. When we started doing this show, none of us were married. None of us had
girlfriends.
None of us had mortgages. None of us really had
I had a couple girlfins when we started this show.
Not in the FI.
No chance.
Not
no
Sammy
chance.
Reed. Yeah.
No chance did any of us have lives outside of gambling when this started. We're doing the best we can. We're coming to you live Monday morning, and honestly, I just wanted to get this out of the way because I think yesterday has got to be a combination of the worst I have ever played in cash and the least amount of dollars returned. I went through my games and I won one $3 head-to-head and one $1 head-to-head, and that was it.
Oh my God. So are you writing those people's names down and sending them invites back this week?
Yeah, share that in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, the people need to know the screen names of these people that lost to you.
I mean,
honestly, though, the good news is it was deserved. Sometimes you get the blade and it's like, played well.
I just played bad.
Other times, I mean, Davis, every dollar you lost was deserved. I mean, this is an atrocious lineup. There's no other way to say it.
Nate, you played. I actually think, my computer's acting all slow, so I got to pull up the 3-minute. I actually think that we all played a little suboptimal because somehow none of us got the memo that Zay Jones was a stone lock. No one figured out that Zay Jones was just a lock for what he ended up like 6, 120, and 3. I mean, this is the fucking Christian Kirk, Will Fuller thing.
Happens every year.
Why doesn't anybody invite us to the secret chat where everybody knows?
Okay, let's just paint the scene. I fucking had Zay Jones. I wake up on Sunday morning and I have the team that everyone played: the Mahomes, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen, Zay Jones, Nelson Aguilar, Chig Okongwu, Derrick Henry, Broncos D team, right? Easy. That team cashes, no sweat. You're good, whatever. Well, there's a little thing going on Sunday morning called the fucking World Cup final. I'm sitting there sweating out, and I'm like, okay, extra time's going to end about an hour before lock. I'll have time. I'll go in. I'll fix the X, Y, and Z. No, motherfucker, it doesn't end until literally 90 seconds before lock. I go in to my lineup, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking play Derrick Henry. And so I play this just awful combination. I mean, just awful.
Say it.
Okay, so
tell the people this team.
So what I had at lock, because I made it. Okay, so I had Justin Herbert, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen, Nelson Aguilar, Chris Moore, Dulcich, Chase, Broncos defense. So that, which was 101 point something. Obviously, I'm way behind because I don't have Zay Jones and I have Alvin Kamara at lock. So I play Mike Williams and the Chargers defense over Keenan Allen and the Broncos, which gave me was like an absolutely massive ownership discrepancy. Like Mike Williams was like 20% and the Chargers defense were sub 1% and the Broncos defense was like 60%.
The Zay Jones thing is tilting. I mean, there's no other way to say it. 30% owned and then doing this.
Zay Jones has been popping in projections for weeks and weeks. Like every week,
since week fucking 1, he has really.
It's just like, Zay Jones the value, and he never gets there. He's just like so bad all the time. I don't understand. And I'm saying this as somebody who's not like dialed in. I don't hang out in DFS discords and shit like that. Like I have shit to do with my life. I have no clue how everybody decided this was the week for Zay, and it ended up being the week for Zay. What happened?
He had like 1 billion targets last week, and the other thing that happened, Sammy, was that like this was like the game of the week because Detroit New York Jets started out as kind of the game, and everyone's like, oh, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Mike White, Jared Goff, St. Brown. Then two things happened.
Mike White got ruled out.
And also the forecast was like, it was just tricky all week. It was like some people thought that because there was a fucking winter storm going through the East Coast. So it didn't end up impacting the game at all, but it moved the total a little bit during the week. I think it opened at like 47.5 and ended up moving down to 44 or something like that. And then the Eagles and the Bears were in a huge spread, and the Chiefs and the Texans were in a huge spread. So just Detroit Jacksonville just became like the DFS game of the week is what happened basically.
All right.
And the bigger, actually, I should say even the bigger
biggest
wrinkle
news
was Jacoby Myers. Yeah. So
everybody had Nelson Aguilar. I think Nelson Aguilar would have been like 80% owned in cash games. If it
well, yeah, but what happened, Davis? Did you just not get the memo that he was out?
What fucking happened is I'm literally like in tears on my couch watching Lionel Messi kiss the World Cup trophy, trying to fucking be like, God, who do I play? And my only guiding principle was I just don't really want to play Derrick Henry because he just looks like such shit these days. And obviously he ends up just absolutely giving me the blade. But it's like I'm thinking in my head, do I want to play Jamar Chase or do I want to play Derrick Henry? You know what? I would really rather play Jamar Chase. He's just like way better. Obviously does not end up being better, but I'm not going to say that this slate got 100% of my critical thought going into it, to be 100% honest. It is what it is.
Yeah. Tough scene.
I want to give Nate, I mean, it's sort of interesting. Latavius Murray ends up being the best play of the slate pretty much in terms of value running backs. But what's kind of interesting is he did it on efficiency. You know, it's like Marlon Mack is in there getting touches, right? I guess I shouldn't say that's true. Latavius Murray got 24.
Latavius Murray got the workload.
He got 24 fucking carries. Now, Marlon Mack vultures a touchdown. Actually, it has 4 receptions in the passing game.
And Tomlinson got like a 3-yard touchdown when on second down when they were down at the goal line. So
yeah.
So Latavius, this is the time. This is my time.
You gotta fucking eat a big fat L because what you did is so dumb.
It is incredibly dumb. I mean, so mea culpa. I'm a fish. I have gills. I have scales. I breathe in water. This is one of the all-time bad things. So earlier this week, let me set
1 second.
Yeah.
Was 121 enough to sweep?
No.
Okay.
No, I think cash was like 125.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost. I finished with like 121. I lost money on this slate. Not a ton, but a lot more than I would have if I had actually played good. So let me set the scene. Earlier this week, I text the boys in the Gillcast chat and I say, boys, it's Latavius Murray week. And Davis starts laughing. He's like, oh, yeah, that's such a Nate Noling play. And I'm like, no, it's different than last week. Like, first off, Mike Boone is out. Secondly, they have a much better matchup, and
they just weren't ever getting blown out here.
No, and 30's cheaper. Like, this is a really good Latavius Murray spot. Fast forward to Sunday, and I start getting. I originally had Zonovan in my lineup. I had Connor, Zonovan, and Murray. I was going kind of value running backs. And I decided, and I saw everybody had Kamara and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is a good Kamara spot. Man, Kamara's going to give me the blade. Man, he's too cheap. Like, this is
Alvin Kamara has stolen so much money from this group of 3 guys.
We never get him right.
Both I got him right the 1 week this year. I got the 40 burger or whatever.
The 40 burger. Yeah, that seems like last year.
But I would say it really does. I would say by and large, I would say probably Christian Kirk, Will Fuller, and Alvin Kamara have stolen the most money from maybe DJ Moore in that list as well in terms of stealing.
No, yeah, because you had the Stones that 1 week, Nate, or DJ Moore smash and Davis.
I'm always on DJ.
I'm forgetting the number 1 money stealer
Mark Andrews.
Mark
Mark
Andrews. Mark Andrews, the number one
he's
money
the
stealer.
Lionel Messi of stealing Davis's money.
The greatest of all time of fucking owning me. Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
Donovan Knight.
Okay, so I end up being mentally weak, and I'm like, oh, I got to get Kamara in there. So then it's between Zonovan and Latavius Murray, and I end up going Zonovan. This is an all-time fish move because first off, I was standing Latavius Murray. Second off, Mike White is out. And thirdly, I mean, I didn't account properly for the fact that Russell Wilson is out. Like Russell Wilson being gone.
Broncos country,
buddy,
let's ride.
It's Broncos country. Like this is the all-time Bill Simmons Ewing theory. I mean, he is the biggest fraud in all of sports. And all of a sudden he's gone. That team's gonna roll. And they did. And I blew it. And
except for Dulcich, though.
Right. Well, obviously. But here's the worst thing. So I end up playing Zonovan instead of Latavius Murray. So that's a giant 1v1, but it cost me 200 extra bucks. And I ended up not playing Chig at tight end. I ended up playing his teammate Hooper.
Yeah, this is like bad on bad. I mean, I have very
Huge
little room to talk, but that, I mean, not good.
Egregious mistake by me. I am just I'm a fish. What can I say? I'm a fish.
Also, at the end of the day, I mean, Nate swept, but he straight up played Jacoby Myers over Zay Jones. I'm looking at his team. I'm looking at
no. That's not true.
You did Dulcich, Jacoby Myers instead of Chig
over
Zay.
Chig. Yeah, over Chig Zay. So
all right. So let me read my team and then we'll go into Nate's team.
Yeah.
So just so the people know, I played Tom Brady like a stone ass alpha at 5,500.
I mean, this is when you put this in the chat, I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, where's
Sammy's
Sammy's
still drunk on a beach in Mexico.
Yeah, I was like, this is literally insanity.
The year of
no. This is a good spot for it. Tom's been throwing the ball. He's been throwing it like 55 times a game, bro.
He had like 6 fantasy points with like 8 minutes left in this game.
No, he threw 2 touchdowns right off the bat.
And
then his 43-year-old ass turned the ball over 4 times. It's not like I had a fantasy playoff win to get. By the way, I just want you guys to know one amendment to the Latavius Murray thing is I had Latavius in my fantasy seasonal playoffs in the league I care the most about, and he got me just enough to lose by 2 points, but also to get skunked in cash games. Like, thank you. Merry Christmas, Latavius Murray. I love you. Appreciate that. So I played Brady. And then I went Kamara, Zonovan, and Connor at running back. And then I just did like a straight up alpha wide receiver core. I went Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Moore. I punted with Hooper at tight end, and I did play the Broncos at DST. I scored 121 points. I suck. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, when you can play the second tight end at $3,000, you got to do it.
I mean, I think Hooper actually plays more snaps than Chig, but he's Austin Hooper.
No, Chig is taking over targets, snaps, routes, everything.
I mean, I didn't have the $100, bro. I had to jam in Zonovan.
It's like actually unbelievable how all of us played bad in our own ways. I mean, Nate, this Jacoby Myers play inexcusable, but Nate.
No, okay, here. Let me walk through the team. Number one,
I mean, just the height of irony. Some dude who plays Nelson Aguilar in cash.
I'm not here.
I was gonna play Nelson Aguilar.
This is
my team,
obviously.
I gotta host the fucking show. Just because I played the worst team in the history of DraftKings.com doesn't mean I can just let Nate be like, yeah, I played Jacoby Myers and it was fine. Like,
okay,
I can't.
I just want to throw this out there.
It was a concussion, first of all. This wasn't like a soft tissue injury where there was like the risk of.
Have you watched Mac Jones play football the last month, dude?
Okay, there was literally no healthy running backs for them going into this game. This was a pass spot for them. I thought Mac Jones was going to have.
No.
Ramondre,
the best running back play of the slate. Like,
there was a question of whether or not Ramondre could like play at all in this game. Damian Harris out. No. Yes, there was literally.
No, every Patriots beat writer said Sunday morning said he's good to go. He's going to be fine.
It wasn't until like an hour before game time that we could be confident.
I played Ramondre on every GPP team. He was so good to go. Your head
was in World Cup news. He was not so good to go. He was testing it out all day. Like,
I know because I also have him in an FFPC main event team, and we had to start Ramondre or we had to start an early game wide receiver, and we started Ramondre.
Well, you were too confident on the reports. It literally, he could have not played today.
Nate'll never take a Jacoby Myers L.
just
No,
take it.
No.
Just
So
take
when
the L.
Jacoby was ruled in, I thought, we were all on this Patriots passing game all week because of the fact that it looked like a pass heavy spot for them. They weren't.
No, we were on it because we thought Jacoby Myers might not play, and Nelson Aguilar just had 31% of the targets. It wasn't because it was like this amazing spot.
I disagree. I mean,
the Patriots have like the worst passing offense in the NFL, Nate.
Yes, I understand, but in this spot, they were going to pass. Jacoby,
when do you think?
You're living in a completely different dimension than the rest of us.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I don't think you realize why people were on the Nelson Aguilar thing. The Nelson Aguilar is not a play because Jacoby being in doesn't change the route tree for
Nate,
Nelson.
This is one of the most bizarre non-L holdings in the history of this program.
Davis, I don't think you understood the thesis of the Nelson Aguilar.
How owned do you think Jacoby Myers was in cash?
Like 8%, probably about the same as Latavius Murray, the best running back play on the slate.
Yeah, he was 8%. Aguilar, even with him in, was 18% because it was just about pricing. It was not because Jacoby Myers and there was some great passing spot. It was just pricing, dude.
Nate, there is no good passing spot for the Patriots. It doesn't exist. You're talking about unicorns, and
they are literally like the worst passing offense in football.
Yeah,
I believe their receivers have the fewest amount of accumulated yards of any group of wide receivers in the NFL.
I understand that. Going up against Las Vegas, their defense combined with the health of the Patriots running backs, combined with Devontae Parker being out, this set up to be a Jacoby Myers spot. The question was whether or not Jacoby Myers was going to play at all. When he was ruled in with a concussion and there wasn't the risk of like a soft tissue injury mid-game, I thought Jacoby Myers was a great play.
I grant this no clemency. No,
yeah,
absolutely not.
Let's go through the rest of my lineup. I could have taken
I feel like Nate needs a bye. Like maybe next week, Nate, take the show off.
We'll have Jacoby, and I still would have swept every single lineup I had.
Nate, what you did, I have to commend you on this. What you did that was so much more intelligent than all these other fucking chuckleheads was Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. So maybe just play him instead of Justin Herbert, who like struggles to do anything. It's really unbelievable.
And Justin Herbert was like still like he was like $800 cheaper than Mahomes. It wasn't like you're getting a $2,000.
No, this is. I mean,
the Herbert thing was
it's because everyone was out on the Titans. But what you have to remember is that trusting the Chargers to do anything is a true mental illness. Like it doesn't matter. I think they could be playing 7-on-7 against high schoolers and Herbert would still be throwing these awful interceptions and they would be, turning the ball. Like it's just, it's one of the things I feel the worst about in my DFS career is just not playing Mahomes in this spot. It's really
and you
bad.
hate Herbert.
I really do. Yeah.
This was bad, Davis. Okay. So I put up 144. I played Mahomes, Latavius Murray, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen, Jacoby Myers, Chris Moore, Greg Dulcich, Derrick Henry, and Broncos D. I mean, the Latavius thing, I talked about it last week. This week was even a better spot for him. Latavius Murray gets targets. He legit has 3 games over 10% target share over the last 4. I don't think people realize his passing work. He was cheaper. Mike Boone being out made the spot even better, and it was probably the best spot Denver's going to have all year. It wasn't like I literally was not joking when I told you guys like I'm playing Latavius 100%. Like
I know, buddy.
He was the play,
buddy.
I know.
You did. Nate just played 3 Broncos in cash and just like slapped us around. It's just
Kamara was tilting, but I couldn't not play Kamara.
How the fuck did you not play? How the fuck? Like I feel like James Conner is the most Nate play of all time, and you found like he wasn't
cheap. He
was my first guy in though,
but he wasn't cheap. If Conner like I didn't feel like Conner was that cheap that it really got me a whole lot.
But
so I still got Keenan.
He's got the best. He's got the best role in the NFL. They literally. Keontae Ingram played 2 snaps.
I know. I liked Conner.
James Conner.
Oh, and the first time I saw him come into the game, I'm like, is Conner hurt? Because I saw Keontae Ingram. I'm like, for what? Like they never take Conner off the field.
Maybe I should have gone Conner over Kamara. Maybe the Kamara thing was more wish casting. I mean, the reality was with no Mark Ingram, with literally only David Johnson, I thought Kamara was going to get like 90% of the snaps.
Do you know what ended up happening though? They just fucking played Taysom. That's really the Mark Ingram was out and they just played Taysom. I mean,
Taysom
that
and
was
David Johnson. David Johnson got significant work. Like, it was so tilting.
David Johnson in the year of our Lord 2022, almost 2023, did get 4 carries for 12. I mean, David Johnson.
Like, they legit don't want Kamara to have more volume. It just doesn't matter who
I mean,
who
and
the other
also
person is.
as a team, they called 19 passing plays. Like, it was the Falcons. It just didn't matter at all. Like, the Kamara thesis is always like, well, yeah, I mean, he starts the game with 4 for 40 as a receiver, right? And he had 2 catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't throw him the ball anymore. I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing that he's really good at, is you get him in space, you toss him the rock. Like, they stopped doing it. They were literally using him as a 2-down grinder last week. And Mark Ingram was like getting all the receptions. I don't know why I was like, oh God, I have to get Kamara in this week. God
we gotta
damn
stop
it.
playing. We gotta
He's
stop playing
dust. It's over. It's over.
The reality is Derrick Henry gets better workload than he does from a passing standpoint. And that's that's the shift. So I played Derrick Henry for the first time in cash in like, has to be
Did you think about playing Jamar Chase at all?
Yeah, I thought about it. The reason I went on Henry was just Henry's passing game. Like,
it's way
there.
better than it has been. Yeah.
There's still like the offensive line concerns, but I don't know, with T and Boyd being back, I just thought Henry was a better play than Chase.
Well, you were right.
Yeah, you were totally right. God, Henry. I played Henry last week and it was like he was just a smash. It's December.
It is December. I mean, Henry was 46% owned. He got 29. Chase was 34% owned. He got 19. I mean,
Henry was literally their leading receiver also.
Yeah. Oh man. They are so bad, by the way.
He's legit like averaging 5 reception points expected, which for Derrick Henry is
for Derrick Henry, that is like game changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does this every year where they like give him a screen and he busts it off for 75 yards.
And you're like, why don't you do that twice a game?
Totally. And they're starting to actually do it. And it's like, that's really smart. Like,
yeah, all that it took for Derrick Henry to get receptions was trading AJ Brown away, his replacement getting a concussion, their other 2 wide receivers turning into like fossils. They they had like 6 guys out on defense, 3 guys missing on the offensive line. I mean,
give them 4 targets.
The fact that the Chargers were even close in this game is like, honest to God, very embarrassing for them. Like, very, very, like, it's just.
Did Herbert get 10? Did Herbert hit double digits?
Herbert got to 13 at 53%. I mean, that's really incredible. He was 53% owned in the massive $25 double up. Hurts was 13. Mahomes was 13. Just like horrible, dude. Everyone played bad. Justin fucking Herbert, dude. Are you serious?
I mean, he's good, but the thing about Herbert is when you're paying up that high, you want some sort of rushing equity, and I just don't feel like Herbert has a ton these days. So you're really like
consider Hurts?
Hurts I was Mahomes only.
It was either Mahomes or Hurts for me, but
yeah,
both. I was just sticking with the big game Tom, who did get the bonus, who did get 24 points.
What's so funny is obviously Hurts and Mahomes are the only guys I played in tournaments, right? Like, I'm not playing fucking Justin Herbert doubles in tournaments. Like, it's one of those
Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen.
It's just doubles. It's one of those classic things of like, if you would never consider this guy in tournaments, why would you play him in cash? And I played him in the cash. All right, let's do tournaments. I actually had a couple pretty good teams in tournaments yesterday. I think I had like a top 50 team in the slant. This was my team in the SPY. Mahomes at 8%, Ramondre at 3%, Travis Etienne at 6%, Kadarius Toney. You want to stack Mahomes. I guess I should have just done it with McKinnon.
No, that's an alpha move. I love it.
Kadarius Toney at 0.3%, Chris Moore at 39%, Amari Rodgers at 3%. Very bizarre yesterday from the Houston Texans. 3 wide receivers active. That was it. Not a 4th guy, not a special teamer. 3 wide receivers active. So I thought all of their guys were in play. I mean, obviously they had 5 tight ends active, so they just played a lot of 12 personnel.
Hey, question for you: was one of the active receivers Philip Dorsett?
Yes. Did he receive a target? I mean, yeah. I mean, I was not considering Dorsett, but Rodgers getting the slot snaps, I thought he was okay. I mean, whatever. Travis Kelce at 12%, honestly did not get there until overtime. And then Devonta Smith at 7%, the Falcons at 5%. This team scored 142, min cashed the spy. But Mahomes at 8%, like, actually feels insane. Like, actually feels like, what I mean, who are people playing if Mahomes? Because I don't think Hurts was all that owned either. You know, here I can find a Hurts team. I mean, in the red zone where I played,
I'll tell you who people played. They played Justin Herbert at like 35% ownership.
I mean, this is you're right. I mean, this is absolutely inexcusable shit because Justin Herbert is 36% owned in the red zone. I mean, I guess if that is the way people are going to play, tournaments are not nearly as dead as it has felt up until this point, because Justin Herbert, not a particularly good play in tournaments anyway, I don't think, because how is he going to get to 30 the way that Mahomes and Hurts can get to 30? But at 36%, he is like quite literally unplayable. There's no permutation of ways you can get there. I don't know. Seems unbelievable. But yeah, but the thing I felt sharp about yesterday was just jamming Ramondre in. Knew no one was going to play him. Knew he was healthy. The beat said he was fine. And he got 100. He got the bonus and a touchdown and way outscored James Conner, way outscored Alvin Kamara, and way outscored Mixon, who were the other 7K running backs.
Legitimately sharp Ramondre play, Davis. Hats off.
Yeah, you know, in an 18-hour span where you're just getting fucking knocked over the head with losses, it feels good to do one thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is what it is. And then Devonta Smith, I mean, when are people going to learn that with Dallas Goedert out, AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are like, I've played Devonta Smith every slate since Dallas Goedert went out, and I don't believe he's gotten under 15 yet. I mean, he just is this. I feel like there's this element where people still kind of don't believe in Jalen Hurts. Doesn't it kind of feel like that where people
for sure.
Well, yeah, because he never throws for a ton of yardage. Like Hurts is always in the like low 200s. His passing props are always low 200s. It's kind of tough. So you're like, man, it kind of feels like, excuse me, it kind of feels like he's like a one or the other kind of guy, you know, which is fine.
It was that way when Goddard was in, but I think Devonta and AJ Brown were 2 and 3 in receiving yards yesterday.
Wow. Yeah.
Like it's just all those two guys. All right, Sammy, you next, and then we can. We should start doing Nate last. Although
Nate last. Oh yeah.
Nate's reveal is a nice.
I wonder. We should also start guessing what like insane off the wall shit he did.
Laden thinks how much.
Laden thinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy, go ahead.
How much Devontae Parker Nate had this week? It's just a great spot. All right.
Mac Jones double with the Mac Hollins spring.
I did have some Mac Jones teams.
It's a great passing spot for the Patriots, dude. Great spot.
Dude, the Raiders are a pass funnel.
The Raiders are a pass funnel. You heard it here first.
I hate you guys.
Man, I haven't heard pass funnel since 2018. That's great. All right. Well, all that dunking on Nate, you guys are gonna have a time with this lineup. Here we go. I played this in the $100 spy. My faith in Tom Brady extended to my GPP lineups, and I knew nobody would be playing Brady and Evans stacks, so I did it. It
true.
Did not read.
What was Evans owned, like 2.6% in the spy?
He was actually 10%. Higher than I would expect.
Yeah, don't love that. What was Godwin?
No, should have stacked him with Godwin, but it was just one of those things where like everyone's making so much of Evans and his called back touchdowns and his close calls, and nobody wants to play the guy. I was just like, oh yeah, like this is a good stack. I just really like this game, and I feel justified. I mean, the game ended up scoring whatever, like 57 points. So I went Brady and Evans and Cade Otton.
Cade Otton.
Kate Otten, yeah, got one catch for 20 yards early and then disappeared. Brought it back with Jamar Chase in this lineup. I did play Derrick Henry. I also played Isaiah Pacheco, and
the Pacheco ended up being the worst play of the slate. I played some of him too,
yeah,
but Isaiah Pacheco at 30%. I mean, I'm not calling you out specifically. I'm just saying, like,
no,
realistically, he ended up being the stone woat.
I didn't realize Pacheco would be this owned. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh yeah. But McKinnon was obviously the sharp play because McKinnon actually has a little juice. But then I also played at wide receiver 3, Philip Dorsett, thinking,
amazing.
Oh yeah.
Did he record a statistic in this game?
He did not. You should see you should see. I wish I could screen share this with you. It's wide receiver Philip Dorsett, 2.6%. Then the score, and then just in the box, it's just black. There's nothing there.
There's just nothing.
There's nothing there. There's no target. There's no reception.
I'm actually familiar with that from playing Sky Moore. I know what the black box looks like.
Oh, word. And Nelson Aguilar and Cash, right?
No, Nelson Aguilar actually, I think he had like 115 air yards yesterday. The issue is he stinks and the Patriots also stink and Mac Jones stinks. I really should have factored it in more how bad the New England Patriots are. Not a good passing offense.
No. not if you ask anybody but Nate Noling. And then I played
pass funnel spot, dude.
Yeah, and then I played the Cardinals defense as leverage off of the Denver defense.
Loved that. Yeah, I thought.
And they scored 11. So this was, I mean, I don't think this lineup cashed and ended up scoring like 120, but yeah, I gave it my best.
Okay, yeah. I think that Nate played in the red zone or spy, whichever he chooses. I'm gonna guess that he played. Oh, what is the funniest outcome here? I'm gonna guess that he played a Justin Fields, Dante Pettis team with AJ Brown on the other side.
If that was the case, Davis, I would have printed, but no, I didn't.
I played a Jalen Hurts Byron Pringle team and felt so sharp.
Anybody who had Fields and Brown would have printed. No, I went with a Burrow double. With Burrow, Chase, and Mixon. I thought Mixon was going to be extremely under-owned, which he was. We took nothing away from last week from the fact that he's in just in a 50-50 timeshare with Samaj P. Ryan. Another week back healthier. I don't know. I thought
it happened again. It was 50-50 again.
I thought it was bad. And Chase. So yeah, Burrow, Chase, and Mixon with Cade Otten as my bring back.
Oh, both of you guys ending up on Cade Otten.
I feel immediately worse.
Yeah. Then Latavius Murray, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara was an awful play at 26% ownership. Jacoby Myers, obviously, because
obviously.
Deontay Johnson,
spot of the year for Jacoby Myers, who had by the way, who had one reception for 7 yards until the last drive where he got the play before Jacoby Myers fumbled the game away. He also had the reception to set that play up. Good for him.
Jacoby Myers had like 100 air yards. He was
so it's fair to say that Jacoby really only got involved to karmically throw the game away at the end.
I mean, just that play. I've never laughed so hard watching a play. The combination of Jacoby thinking that was somehow a good idea, and then Mac Jones just getting face planted by a former Patriot.
Oh, I'm looking forward to jumping on Twitter today and seeing the photoshopped gifs of Mac Jones being like ethered into the netherworld.
The dots, you know how they do the dots like tracking the play. The dots on that play is amazing because you can see Mac Jones moving around up until the point in which Chandler Jones' dot runs right through him, and then his dot just stays stationary. Oh, unbelievable.
Jacoby Myers, not great. Deontay Johnson, and then brought it back with Chargers D.
Hey, Deontay Johnson almost, I think he got double-digit fantasy points yesterday.
He was 2 yards away from the bonus. Deontay had a smash game.
Wow. Yeah, Deontay. I mean, tough. Sammy, at least you haven't played him in cash this year, but he has been, I mean, we might be talking about an all-time Skolansky guy here.
I mean, so part of the issue is you guys hear about all the yards per target. Who's the worst in yards per target? It's obviously Deontay, but it's also George Pickens. This is a team problem. This is not a Deontay Johnson problem.
Yeah, the Mike Tomlin magic of never missing the playoffs. It's worn off.
You know what's so tilting is the Steelers are so bad, and yet I really want them to lose games so we can get like a top 5 pick in this great draft. And we keep
but
winning.
Other teams are worse.
Yeah, and we keep winning these stupid games. It's just like we're gonna pick 10th again.
Who did they even play?
That's why you should just be the Bears, where Justin Fields has incredible game after incredible game after incredible game, and the Bears keep losing and getting better draft picks.
He was crying on the bench yesterday, Justin Fields.
That's what you want to see.
I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying, like, I actually feel bad for him because he's like limping off the field. He's the guy from Monty Python. Like, it's just
that run that he scored a touchdown but stepped out of bounds. I mean, this stuff that he's doing is absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, I saw it and I thought it was like a replay from like 3 weeks ago where he had that other incredible.
He does it every week.
Yeah, he does it every week. It's amazing.
Who's going to be the Steelers quarterback next year, Sammy? Like Mason Rudolph, or?
I just hope the Steelers, and they don't, but I just wish they had the stones enough to do what like the Cardinals did
a couple years ago. Pickett.
Yeah, just straight up pick another quarterback. Like, he ain't it, right? They had the Cardinals had Rosen.
It's kind of interesting because there's going to be this big war, I think, in the back half of the first round for this Florida quarterback because Justin Fields is doing so well for like. I mean, Anthony Richardson, way worse passer than Justin Fields, but I'm super interested to see what team goes in on him. I wonder if the Patriots do it. I wonder if they bail on Mac Jones. Mac Jones.
The Patriots need to bail. Patriots need to bail.
He's not it, right? Like, we just all agree.
No.
Like, Mac Jones ain't it.
No,
yeah.
No. Remember when the Patriots could have had Lamar Jackson?
The Patriots could have had Justin Fields. The Patriots could have had Trey Lance. Like, the Patriots, like, they were in the same spot as the 49ers in that draft. Like, they had multiple picks to move around with.
And the most tilting thing about Mac Jones is how so many people legit thought he was like the guy after
they
the
thought
first
he was
year
great.
because he could like complete these dinky passes.
Well,
like,
he just kept throwing to Jacoby Myers. He
had an 8 out of like 4.5. He had an 8 out of 4.5 and a completion percentage that all these non-football guys are running around going, oh, he's good. He was the best rookie QB.
Who's going to be the 49ers quarterback next year?
Lance.
You think?
Yeah, they have to.
I bet they just fucking run it back with Jimmy. I bet they give Jimmy 1 year, $14 million or whatever. Because where does Jimmy go? Where does Jimmy go to get the 4-year, $120 million contract? Who gives him that? I don't really. Maybe Sammy's team.
The Patriots.
No,
the Jets.
No. I think the Patriots would rather do the Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones thing than pay a huge free agent contract to Jimmy G.
Isn't Mac Jones kind of Kenny Pickett-ish, where they're like, oh yeah, this guy's like the solid, like NFL ready quarterback who has just no upside and goes in the middle to late first.
No, people thought
it's what you draft when you're scared of a floor.
People thought Pickett had upside because he is athletic. Like, well, I guess I shouldn't say shown that. He ran and moved around and did stuff in college. He's also, I believe Kenny Pickett is 24. Kenny Pickett and Lamar. God. I think Kenny Pickett and Lamar are the same age, if I remember correctly.
I didn't watch a snap of it, but how did Desmond Ridder look?
So bad. So bad. I was wondering if we'd get to that. Yeah. The idea that the Falcons have their quarterback of the future. No, it's he was bad the whole game. And then at the end, he almost did so you got a Hail Mary, you're running around, you're scrambling, and he was past the line of scrimmage and he almost threw it anyway. Like he had the ball back 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, almost threw it anyway. And then was like, you know what? I'm just going to run out of bounds. Game over. He had just had like no anticipation, like no bit, like kind of like Zach Wilson actually, where it was just like he had no idea what was going to happen next. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I love it. Can I wrap us up with an L of the week that I haven't mentioned yet?
Of course.
All right.
I'm not doing a Jacoby Myers L. Good God.
No. It's taking my own L. This is actually probably somewhat worse than my Zonovan and Austin Hooper 2v2 versus Latavius and Chig. I was heavily invested in Deshaun Watson this week. Not only did I play him and smash his overs on Prize Picks at a 209.5 passing yards. I'm like, oh, Deshaun Watson's going to smash that. He's getting more comfortable in the offense every week. Cleveland should actually roll in this game, like, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Like Deshaun Watson's like always been a really good quarterback, you know, like 209 yards, of course.
Who has more buyers or more, Sammy or the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, I can speak for me, and it's me. Also, I played him in that really important seasonal league. It's a 2-quarterback league, and I played him over Gino, and I played him over Tua, and I ended up losing by 2 points because I played this sexual abuser who threw for 161 yards. This is a huge L. Like Deshaun Watson sucks.
He stinks. And I don't know if
he's a bad person. Like I have 2 daughters and this guy's a creep and I like invested in him and I deserve the L. So this is me bearing my soul in front of all of you. I'm taking an L on Deshaun Watson. I suck for supporting this man with my dollars and my emotional equity.
That Saturday slate was so obnoxious because I had a bunch of teams that had no Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, and the Colts defense because the Colts defense was the cheapest, and not ending up binking because fucking Waddle doesn't get there and ends up getting outscored. Just so tilting.
Wait,
or
Waddle,
other way. I played Tyreek because I had
Waddle
the money. I played Tyreek because I had the money. Yeah, so just one of those things. Although I would say that game is a very good lesson for these horror stories that we get this time of year. We are in the perfect time of year for when people on Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be like, oh my God, do you see the weather that's going to be happening during this game? They're not going to score any points. It's going to be 0-0. Very, very good reminder to take a chill pill with all of that shit on Monday and Tuesday.
The late December weather takes are just my favorite.
Well, not playing Garrett
Wilson of DFS.
Not playing Garrett Wilson that one game because of the weather. I think that might have cured me. I truly think that might have cured me of ever taking that shit seriously again and just letting the chips fall where they may. Because that was
this Zay Jones thing. I'm still tilting my face off.
I'm unless I go on a good run here, I think this is gonna be my first losing year in cash since the Mark Andrews drop year. Since what was that, 2018? The fucking year where he just dropped every goddamn pass.
Yeah, send the invites to Davis Maddock. Get some of these dollars.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. I promise if you lose to me, I will keep it in the ecosystem. I'm not hitting the withdraw button. You know,
I will never cash out. I will never log off.
But it's just disappointing because you wait around all year and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to pile on NFL cash, and then just giving it back does not feel good. It really doesn't. But you know, we'll persevere. So guys, next slate, the week 16 slate, the NFL, fucking Christmas Eve. We all got families, we all got lives. We're not gonna do it Saturday night. We're also not gonna do it Sunday morning. So you're gonna have to wait a little bit. We will
don't want to get divorced.
We will come up with some wrinkle to make the Monday show more interesting or whatever. We'll do analysis of the next slate or showdown or something. Or maybe we'll do like year-end awards. Like I don't fucking know. We'll do something to make the Monday show.
Nate's gonna win all the awards for craziest play of the
year. Kobe Myers play of the year.
Craziest GPP team goes to Nate.
Sammy Watkins in week 4. I have an underdog quarterfinal team that needs 2 points from Sammy Watkins tonight to advance, and I already know it's not getting it.
R.I.P. in peace.
So there we go, everyone. That's gonna be it. We're out of here. We'll see you back next Monday. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that stuff, and we'll see you then.